If I were to say the name Alfred Nobel, what's that make you think of? Well, some of you may say, hey, the Nobel Peace Prize, which was actually named after him. But what most people fail to realize is the Nobel Peace Prize was only the second part of this man's story. You see, originally, Alfred Nobel was a Swedish chemist who made his fortune by inventing dynamite and other explosives that were used in weapons. And there came to a point in his life where his brother had passed away, but one newspaper accidentally wrote an obituary for him instead of his brother. And as Alfred read his own obituary, it told the story of a man who made his fortune by enabling other people to kill one another in unprecedented numbers. And when he read those words, it shook him to the core. It shocked him. It challenged him to take stock of his life, to think about where he was going. And from that day forward, he vowed that he would use his fortune and his influence to award accomplishments for those that benefited humanity, the Nobel Peace Prize. You see, he had the rare opportunity to read his own obituary, to hear what other people would say about him after he was gone. And then he still had the time to make a change, to set a new direction in his life, to leave a different kind of legacy. I just want to ask you today, I want you to consider, what kind of legacy are you leaving? Most of us will never have the opportunity to read our own obituary, to hear what other people will say after we're gone. But here's what I'd like you to do today. Just pause. Just clear your mind for a minute. I want you to think about your funeral. Yeah, think about your own funeral. When you're gone, think about the people that will be there as they pay respect to you, as they celebrate your life. Think about your funeral. At your funeral, what do you want people to say about you? What kind of person do you want people to describe? What words do you want to be said about you? And as you think about these things, realize this is the legacy you want to leave. These are the things that are really important to you. You see, you measure a life not based on how many years that we live, but how we live with the years that we have. How are you living right now? See, a life is made up by the everyday choices you make every day. It's the choices you make every day that culminate in the life that we live. And my encouragement for you would be this. Take those things, those words you want people to say about you, the legacy you want to live, and incorporate those values into your everyday choices. Don't waste your life. Don't give your life to insignificant or meaningless things that in the end don't matter. Howard Hendricks said, "My fear is not that people would fail, but that they would succeed in doing the wrong things." And so many of us in life, we chase things that we think are success. We climb the ladder, so to speak. But it's such a tragedy that when we get to the top of the ladder, to find that the ladder has been leaning against the wrong wall the whole time. So the question in life is not just how am I getting up the ladder, but the question is, what wall is my ladder leaning against? What is the direction of my life? What kind of legacy am I leaving? And am I pursuing things that are worth giving my life to? And can I share just a couple things with you that have profoundly impacted my life, that I've given my life to, that I would encourage you to do the same? Here's the first one. Give your life to Jesus. Jesus says, "For whoever tries to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it." Jesus didn't come to make bad people good. He came to make dead people live. And there is no real life apart from Jesus. And ever since I've come to know Jesus, I've really lived. I've really lived. And I have a new sense of purpose and perspective and hope in my life. And I've got a hope that I'm going to live in the next life too. And you'll never find your real meaning, your real purpose, and your real joy in life until you live for Jesus. Give your life to him if you've not already done that. For those of you that have given your life to Jesus, start every day, begin every day just by saying, "Jesus, I place my life into your hands. Today I'm living for you." Give your life to him on a daily basis. Here's another thing I would encourage you to do. Give your life to loving other people. You will make a living by what you get, but you'll make a life by what you give. Don't just live for yourself. That's one of the most boring and unfulfilling things any one of us can do. Choose to love other people. Some of us, we can get really discouraged in life and we may think, man, I've got nothing to give. Or what could I possibly give to another person? I don't have that much value. Can I just encourage you just for a minute? You have time that you can give. You have effort and energy that you can give. You have ears that can listen. You have eyes that can see people's needs. You have feet that can walk with people through the ups and downs of life. You have hands that can help. But most importantly, you have a heart that can love, which is the ability to desire and do what is best for another person. You are unique. There's nobody just like you. Do you understand that? Of the nearly 7 billion people in the world, there's nobody just like you, which means there are some things that you can do that nobody else does them just like you. What are those things? What are those things that you do that no one else does them just like you? And how can you use those things on a daily basis to love and help and serve, to be kind and generous to other people? Love is the most powerful force for change in our world. That it really, really makes a difference. But what I've found is that while love makes a difference, when we don't just give love that is from ourselves, but we give a love that we have received from Jesus and are passing on, it doesn't just make a difference, that kind of love miraculously transforms. And this is the greatest legacy that any of us can leave, the lives we change. You see, after we're gone, we're no longer walking this earth. To have people left behind whose lives are better because they have known us is one of the greatest legacies that we can leave. To know that there are people who are better off from knowing me. Be the kind of person that you make other people around you better just by the nature of them being in your presence, just by the virtue of them knowing you as a person. It's never too late to make a change, to decide that I need to take a different direction in my life, and you can do that today. And sometimes it's just one choice that you make that will turn your life in a new direction, that will cause you to live and leave a different kind of legacy. Don't wait until your life is almost over before you consider what is really important to you. And so I guess the question for me and the question for you is this: what kind of legacy are we going to leave? God bless you. Have a great day.